In this video, we're going to be reviewing Airbnb properties, so stay tuned. Vacation Rental Machine helps hosts just like you learn how to start, grow, and scale your short-term rental business. This show is all about creating systems that help you automate your business, giving you more time and money freedom. If you're ready to start living the vacation rental life, then subscribe to this podcast today. Come and join us on our Facebook group, The Host Nation, where we'll be talking about starting, automating, and scaling a short-term rental business. Now, on to the show. Hey, welcome back, Host Nation, to another episode of Vacation Rental Machine. I'm Julian Sage with John Bell. And in this video, we're reviewing your properties. So we actually had someone in the Host Nation Facebook group use hashtag AskVRM, and they said, "Hi, John and Julian. Thanks for accepting me into this group. I recently started listening to your podcast, and it has helped me a lot. I've been hosting for less than a year with no previous experience, but your podcast has made my journey a lot easier. In your last podcast, you encouraged listeners to post their listings for input. I've added my 2 links below. Thanks. Take care, everyone. Eric." All right. Thank you so much, Eric, for sharing your listings. So, John, let's take a look at Eric's listings and see from a person that is just getting started how they are doing.
All right. So, taking a look at the listing, my first impressions are, one, I do like the shortened title, or the title that does say whatever bullets that you want to say. However, I think it's a bad use of real estate using somewhat of the same words in the title. I think self-check-in is important if you're going to do a play on the whole COVID-19 thing. But then let's look at the photos, and really what this says a little too much of is clean, 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 without telling me about the place at all. I would really suggest that we kind of change some of the photos around to kind of still play on the benefits of the place. We can always have that one good photo that shows that, yes, we are clean. But let's take a look at some of that stuff now. Let's take a look at the photos. So one of the things that I do like he did is set the table. That helps people know that, hey, they have table settings. It's just a play on someone's mind that they have these things for me. At the same time, you are showing what looks to be a complete apartment. Outside of that, this photo, I can tell it's not a professional photo because of the lighting in the room. I would definitely say professional photos definitely help out, especially in small spaces. And this somewhat looks like a small space, even from this camera angle, because there's a couch and then there's like the dining room and the kitchen technically in the same space. So you want to make sure you're taking advantage of the widest angle lens that you have. Now, as far as design goes, this looks pretty good. And I can tell that this is an island place or a place that's close to water, which it looks like this was in Puerto Rico. The place definitely looks clean from the photos. So that's really good that it still plays on this whole thing. The same thing here. If you're leaving these materials for your guests, that is all great. It's good for them to see. And you want to make sure that you have all of these items there when they arrive, or else they might have something to say about that. Yes, yes. COVID-19 cleaning measures. Every place should be abiding by this. I'm not too sure that this is a good photo to really have, especially this high up in your preview screen. This photo right here is pretty good. It's different than what I see in most other places, but the resolution might be a little too big because you don't see it all from the preview. If this is that important, then it should be able to really be viewed within this regular pane. And what I mean is right over here, you can't see this entire image. So maybe lessening the resolution on that photo. But again, I would really prefer that this information is in the description, or maybe one of the last photos within your photos. All right, now we're getting to the space. I believe there's a bed, at least that's where the camera is. I see that there's definitely a lot of space. I'm not too sure what that is over on the side, if it's a computer desk, but let's find out. Okay, it is a computer desk in the bathroom. This is all good. Be careful about including a laptop in photos, just because somebody might say, hey, I'm here and I don't see the laptop. Sometimes people expect that. Now, okay, something happened here. On this photo, this TV is here. But in this photo, that TV is not there. Does the TV move, or is it intended to move? Make sure your photos tell the story of what people are going to expect when they get there. And I don't want a moving TV for somebody to say, hey, you took my TV. All right, I see you're using your couch also as an auxiliary bed, which is fine. It's good that you showed it. Oh, you did some really good things on the coffee thing. I am a big fan of Nespresso. Just make sure that your guests have access to those pods. In this whole COVID-19 scenario, it's been pretty difficult for me to actually get my coffee replenished in some of my units because the boutiques have closed. At the same time, drop shipping while a guest is there, well, they think all that coffee is for them. And that's not what we're trying to do here. Not too sure this photo is a great use of real estate. This high up. Good. This one is good because it shows that you have clean white linens. And this also shows the amount of linens. This is a good photo. Exterior, this is definitely helps somebody identify the place if they're walking up to it. I don't always include exterior shots, but a place like this where things are definitely colorful and more tropical, this is a good photo. Of course, this must be the backyard to the space. This looks good to me. There might be some people that will question its safety because they see so many bars really on windows and stuff like that. So sometimes people, that's what strikes up when people see that is the place safe? So you might get those questions. If you do, you might want to consider removing this photo. Outside of this, I would not normally put this photo here because I don't like to expose the doors or the exact address where my listing is. So I would suggest that you remove this photo completely. This is always good just to show people proximity. So that's good. Same here and there. And definitely the beach. I would put one of these closer towards the beginning of the listing in one of those squares because really this is the reason why people are really coming. They want to know, one, how close are you to the beach? Two, what do you have inside of the apartment? Will I feel comfortable? Is there a shower? I can get off this salt water. And when can I go back to the beach? Perfect, right? This shows hip, vibrant. This is looking like a place that I would want to go. I need your place to start matching some of this vibe inside. So maybe not so um maybe California coastal, maybe including some of this vibrant color into the unit just to help remind me that this awaits me outside. This photo here with the markets and COVID, I kind of would exclude. Uh, Same here with this one with the big crowds. I would say right now that's a big no-no because this tells me that I'm going to come home sick. Good photo to have. I'm starting to think there's too many of these and not necessarily enough of what's inside the unit. And I would focus really on that. So definitely control this space, control it, make sure you're putting your best foot forward. You got to get professional photos though. Once you get those photos, you have definitely a wider band that you can show within the image itself. And you want to really control your extra space that you have in this preview pane. All right, let's go down to the listing itself. All right, so you highlight it's downtown. You don't necessarily, okay, 10 minutes from the airport. Some of these items that you are listing right here is what I would want to put in my title up top. Right here, you have a couple of the words that just kind of just, they're saying somewhat of the same thing, but they're really not telling me, hey, I'm 10 minutes from the airport. They're not really saying, hey, my walk score, which is what I think you were trying to refer to in this image over here. At the same time, we really hit on cleaning, which is really good. It's good that you're providing gloves, mask, hand sanitizer, and all those things. I would prefer just this as a photograph without saying this piece and just saying in the description of the photograph that you're including it into your listing. There's not enough details in this space about the space itself. It tells me nothing about the space. I don't know what size beds are in there. I don't know that without looking at the photos that your couch is a auxiliary bed. I don't know much else. So you want to make sure that your description here hits on the highlights inside of the place. Now, I see that you might have expanded some of that into the space, but it should be a little more upfront. Definitely, this stuff that's under this space needs to somewhat make its way back up to the description of the property itself. This information about the walk score and stuff can be down lower. There's some other sections that you have access to when people start to go in and book that you can say, how easy is this to access Metro or to get around, how you suggest doing those things. So you can definitely use your real estate wisely in the description. It is the first thing people see. Without this being expanded, they don't see this in your space stuff. All right. I'm seeing that you got the 2 beds in here, right? I see that you have a good list of amenities, including cable TV. That might be something that you need to put into the title. People like myself don't have cable TV. I just use app-based TVs, and this could be a selling point for you. All right. Nothing else stands out as a deal killer or anything. Washer and dryer, I did notice that that is not one of the things you offer. I do see you got 20 good reviews. That's still holding strong at a 4.9, which is great. And they all state good, and they start off with this word called clean. So this definitely helps your entire story of saying you're clean. All right, let's talk about pricing. I see you got some open days. I'm just going to select this date. I see there's a 2-night minimum. And our price went up to $60 a night. All right. I'm just going to select some other dates further out. And I'm going to go out into Saturday, and I see $64 a night. All right. Now, I'm not too sure what pricing should be in your location, but it doesn't seem like your pricing is set dynamically, or taking advantage of just when people book further out that you should be charging a little bit more money. This looks like what might be smart pricing, which we shouldn't be using. We should definitely be using something that automates pricing like Price Labs or use Wheelhouse. And we'll provide those links down into this video that you could use to connect one of those 2 vendors and start using some of their tools. Outside of that, I think it's pretty much a good job. You're definitely doing something right. You got 20 great reviews. You're already at a Superhost. This is all good. You just want to make sure that you put together the best highlights that you can right in this description area, and you utilize this front page real estate the best way that you can. And that might be to include maybe the location of where it is, the proximity to the airport, and you can still use your word like clean and then your self-check. All of these other things are great, but you want to be putting that best foot forward. This is not necessarily, I would say, like a suited listing where everything is just buttoned up, like you got your tie on, everything is fine and dressed. This is a little more unpolished, but you can definitely get there. What I see is already a great start to that. Yeah. Julian, you have any comments?
Took the words out of my mouth, John.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm normally not this wordy, but I'm really passionate about you guys being successful. And yes, I think this one is a good one. I mean, honestly, it looks like a place that I would even stay if I was going to Puerto Rico. And that might come to fruition really soon. We just got to figure out this TV thing again, because it's there and it's not.
If you'd like the chance for John and I to review your listing, go to thehostnation.com, join our Facebook group, The Host Nation, and use hashtag AskVRM. Let John and I know that you'd like us to review your property, and maybe it will be featured on the next episode. And until next time, Host Nation, keep on hosting. Hope you hosts found value in this episode. If you did, please go on over to iTunes and leave us a review, as that would greatly support the show. If you'd like to connect with John, the community, and I, then go on over to our Facebook group, The Host Nation. Talk to you hosts in the next episode. Keep on hosting.